Samsung Galaxy Nexus. We just had the event. It was crowded as you know what, but we finally got our hands on the device and just wanted to give you a run through, first of all, of the hardware. Now, one thing you'll notice is this screen is absolutely amazing. It's a 4.65-inch HD Super AMOLED screen, and it's got 1280 by 720 pixel resolution, and you can really tell, I mean, up close, which you probably can't see on this, but it is super clear. So for multimedia, HD movies, HD streaming Netflix, this is going to look really good. Some other specs that you can see. Oh, actually, let's go through the actual hardware on the device. At the top here, you can see maybe the speaker, the earpiece. There's also a camera on the top right. Really interesting with this is that these buttons down here are not they're all software buttons, so no hardware buttons, and that's something new that's built into Android 4.0. So then we've got on the right here the power button and sleep button, which shuts it off with the typical TV shutdown, which we've seen in the new version of Android before. At the bottom down here we've got docking pins for surely multimedia dock. No accessories have been named quite yet. 3.5mm headset jack here at the bottom, along with a little camera mic. On the left side, we've got a volume rocker right there. What else do we have? And then on the back, obviously, we've got the 5-megapixel camera. You can see the flash, and a really neat, interesting back panel. It's got groove to it, super light, and kind of gives the phone an interesting feel. The other thing you'll notice, this phone is super slim. So it's 4.67 inches for the screen, but the device itself is really slim, and it's got that curved look to it, the curved screen. Other specs, as you can see on here, include dimensions 135.5 by 68 by about 9 millimeters, 135 grams. It looks like, yeah, the front-facing camera is 1.3 megapixels. It's a dual 1.2 gigahertz processor, 16 gigabytes of internal memory, 32 gigabytes expandable. The battery is 1750 milliamp battery. It's got notification LED, full 1080p recording, NFC zero shutter. Some of these features are really cool. This is the actual hardware of the device. We'll go over the software separately. One thing that I do want to show you actually is the difference between this and the first Samsung Nexus device, which is interesting. This right here is the Samsung Nexus S, which was the second Nexus device right after the Samsung Nexus 1, which was made by HTC. So Samsung has now made 2 Nexus devices in a row with the Nexus S, and it looks like the screen timeout on there is pretty quick, but you can see the difference in size of these apps and even clarity of the screen. The screen on the Galaxy Nexus is just so much larger. The device itself is larger, but check out the thickness of these two next to each other. It's a little bit hard because of the curvature of the screens. They've both got that dipped base that kind of widens out and gets a little bit bulbous. But clearly, the Galaxy Nexus is much more narrow. And again, you don't have these are again software haptic feed buttons, but these are not built into Android. Whereas on the Galaxy Nexus they are. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could tell you about it. It's got a nice feel to it, a typical Samsung feel. So it is a little bit light. Some people will love that because they'd like it having a huge device but not very heavy. Others might say it has a little bit of a plasticky feel to it. There is this notification LED light, which is small inclusion, but I hate when people don't include it. Trying to think of what else on the hardware side of things we might be leaving out. Of course, this is the first phone that'll have Android 4.0, which is Ice Cream Sandwich, so there's a lot of stuff on the software side you're going to want to keep in mind, and we're about to go over that in a minute. So hopefully we'll have a review unit soon, and we can kind of put this through all its paces, but for now, this is the Samsung Galaxy Nexus from Hong Kong.